It's Mother's Day and we're cooking lunch today. The restaurants are crazy on Mother's Day. Usually it's a long wait and piled up with people. So I got this Hunsaker hanging attachment for my Smokey Mountain. I've done a couple of cooks on it, and we're gonna do chicken today, hanging chicken. So I got 4 whole chickens cut in half, so 8 halves. We're gonna do 4 of the halves are gonna be jerk marinated, and the other 4 are gonna just be seasoned with just regular seasoning, and hang them because some people don't like the spicy. So I've got it set up with the lower grate still in to catch any chicken that might drop. I don't think it will, but just to be on the safe side, I've got the leftover coals, mostly lump, a few little briquettes in there, but I think that's going to be enough for what I'm doing. So that's a good little bit of coals. I'm starting with a full chimney of lump. That's B&B lump, and we're going to get that fully lit and try to get the smoker up to about 300 before I put the chickens on. So I'm gonna dump the coals. I'm gonna let it come up to temp for a few minutes, and I'm gonna go get my chicken seasoned up while we wait for that. So I got my chickens, and I'm just what I've done, I got them prepped the night before, went ahead and split them in half and seasoned both sides with salt. So it's a dry brine is kind of the term, and I left them skin side up in the refrigerator uncovered to let this skin get nice and dried out. So I'm going to just blot it with some paper towels, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip these over and season the meat side first, and then flip them over and hit them with a little cooking oil, a little cooking spray. And 2 of them I'm going to do in this Cavender's Greek seasoning, one of my favorites. Salt, pepper, garlic, oregano, a few other things probably in there. And then the other 2 I'm going to do in Lowry's, and maybe a little black pepper. So that's going to be my regular chickens. And then my jerk marinade, and I've got my hooks sitting here ready to go. But I've had them in these marinade packs, just gallon Ziploc bags. So there's 1 whole chicken per bag, and I'll just put a description of the marinade that I used, and then I'm going to take them out and blot them off a little bit with paper towels, and then I'm going to hit them with a little just store-bought jerk rub, and that'll get those doing pretty good. Jerk's one of our favorites. It's almost like a brine, but it's got all the elements of a good marinade. So it's got some brown sugar in it, so when you grill these off, they usually get really dark because the sugar really gets really dark. So it's got some brown sugar in it, and so you got to watch that to burn. But so the skin usually gets really dark on jerk marinated chicken. Just mainly, I believe, is because it's got some sugar in it, but it's got the sweet, spicy, savory from the onion and garlic. It's got the spicy from the hot peppers. It's got some herbs in there, so it's got a nice blend of everything you want in a good marinade, and it makes the chicken juicy because it's got the salt and sugar and some water to make a brine. So I'm gonna get these seasoned up and ready while our smoker's warming up, and we'll meet out at the smoker when we're ready to hang them. So I got my chickens seasoned up. Now I went pretty light with that seasoning. You can see on the right side there, those 2's got the Cavenders, and the left side's got the black pepper and some Lowry's. And I went pretty light on both sides with that because we went pretty heavy with the salt on the dry brine. So my coals are just about there, and I'm gonna give them just another minute before we get started, because I was going to let the smoker come up before I put the chickens on, but I'm running out of time. It's 10:15 and we want to be eating by 12. So I need to get these on and get started. So I'm going to hang these. I got my jerk chickens on there already. Just going to keep them to one side, and then put a little dusting of that rub on them. That's a mess. So I just went ahead and did that outside because they're just dripping. But it's going to be good. So check back during the cook, show you how it comes along. went inside and cleaned up my pans and sanitized my workspace in the kitchen. It's been 11 minutes, 12 minutes since I dumped the coals, shut the lid, so we're right at 250. So I'm gonna watch this. If it's not still rising, I'm gonna crack this lid with a little piece of smoke wood to let more air through. But I really want this to get closer to 300 pretty quickly. So I'm gonna watch it for just a minute. I really wanted to give it about 15 minutes to warm up before the chicken went on, but just didn't have the time. I needed to go ahead and get them started. But I've got a couple probes in the breast. I'm gonna hook up my thermometer and hook those probes up and keep an eye on the temp. I don't want the breast getting too hot, so I want to pull them at the right temp. So I'll keep an eye on this, and if I need to crack the lid I will, just to get that temp on up to 300 and plus. So 300, 325 is kind of what I'm looking for. I'm hoping this is going to take between an hour and a half to 2 hours to get it completely ready. So I've given it a few minutes and it's just not budging. So I'm gonna put a little piece of smoke wood right here in the lid, just like that. But I'm gonna hang out here at the smoker, because I'm not just gonna run off and leave it like this. I'm gonna watch it, and I'm gonna let that temp climb up to 300, and then I'm gonna close it. So we're about an hour and 45 minutes in. Never did quite get to 300, but it's cooking in there. The breasts are reading almost 150 on one, 145 on the other. So another 20 degrees, 15 degrees. So I'm hoping the next 10 or 15 minutes we'll be getting really close to pulling these. I'll show you what it looks like when they're done. So that's it, 2 hours, almost to the minute. They done, looking good. There's some jerk chicken chopped up, looking good.